Love and marriage, love and marriage.
The kids are gone. Maybe they went away to college. Maybe they got married. Point is, they're out of the house. They're no longer a priority. But that makes you an empty nester.
What are you going to do? My sister's oldest daughter's gone. The youngest one is going to be a senior next year. So how do you reconnect with your spouse once the kids are out of the house? We have marriage and sex therapist Leslie Gustafson here with her advice. Good to see you, my dear.
Oh, I'm so glad to be here.
This is something every couple faces. I'll ask you out of the gate, is it a blessing for your marriage when the kids are finally gone, or is it a real challenge for your marriage?
Well, it can be one or the other, but I think it's a blessing. I mean, this is kind of what you've been looking forward to, really. The reward after the long haul of raising kids. You know,
as soon as they're born, you're like, wow, I can't wait till this kid goes to college.
You know, so you want to be that couple who's standing at the doorstep as your last child is going off into the sunset. You've got tears in your eyes, right? And then they're gone.
And then their bedroom becomes like a home gym.
Happy dance.
But you know what?
Celebration, yes.
That's
There's
hard.
grief. A chapter is closing. It's bittersweet. If you've orbited around the kids as your primary focus, you're going to have more trouble.
Every mom I know, my sister included, those kids are their life, whether it's theater, soccer, football, going to their games, helping them with homework. So how can you as a couple learn to fill that void, and what should you fill it with?
Well, hopefully there's not too much of a void because you've managed to stay connected and kept your love alive along the way. That tends to be the difficulty, is marriage gets off, back burnered, not a priority. Then you're at the end going, who are you?
Well, that's what, So that's my question.
And a lot of people, when they've really been disconnected, this is kind of their escape time. Like they're privately thinking about, oh, the kids are gone, maybe I can go now. Sad. It doesn't have to be that. This is what this is kind of like early dating again. You've got freedom, you've got privacy, you've got spontaneity you didn't have before.
Well, how do you get to know that person? Because I would imagine after, 18 years, let's say, raising these kids, the focus is on them. You almost don't know each other as the person you've grown into in those 18 years. How do you reconnect?
I mean, that can be the case. That's the unfortunate case if you've been so distant that now you're trying to reconnect. Just take it as an opportunity to reconnect, that you finally get to start dreaming about what you want this stage of life to be, right? And you do get to rekindle and get to know each other again.
Should you treat it like dating? I mean, I'm wondering, now you got all this free time, because couples get in habits, they get in routines, they get in slumps. I mean, should you, okay, honey, date nights Thursday, we're going to...
Sure.
Just trying to think, how do you get that spark back?
You get that spark back by planning, by making use of the new time you have. You have a lot more space in your home now, right? You have a lot more freedom. And for those couples who have stayed connected, this tends to be a time of more maturity and depth, and they've got a rich relationship at this point.
Sure.
Not to mention the sex can be really great at this time.
Let's talk about that, because Mel and I was, you've got kids in the house. The sex may have dwindled down to, maybe monthly or less. So
they actually consider that sexless when it starts getting that low.
Well, Chris has already dwindled down.
No, listen, that's not true.
And there's not even kids involved yet.
No.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Well, you start carving out time, first of all, right? You make it a priority, and you're like, hey, we're going to find out who we are again and start dating and start romancing a little bit. And don't put the pressure on of like, we have to have sex and we're going to get all in. Start slowly. Start with affection. Start with touching. Start with getting to know, lounging, relaxing, having romance. And you'll find it again. You'll find it again.
Good advice. You're good.
Well, I love what I do.
I
love what I do.
It shows.
You can tell. You can tell. Thank you so much,
By the
Leslie.
way, you can connect. We talked about Twitter.
Yes.
Leslie, you are on Twitter at, what is it?
At Authentic True.
And we can carry the conversation on.
Let's
if people have questions or want to know more.
Perfect. At Authentic True. Make sure you tweet her your questions if you've got any. Thank you so much, Leslie.
We'll see you again soon, I hope.
I hope so, too.